Welcome to the Ask Chris Real Estate Podcast with Chris Phillips from Keller Williams. A successful 20-year veteran in the Middle Tennessee real estate market with over 100 five-star reviews, Chris is known for his knowledge and integrity. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or just curious, his insight will guide you along the way.
All right, I've been in real estate for 20 years, and today I want to clear up something that has been confusing a lot of buyers and sellers, David. We were just talking about this during the break, and we're going to go into it. We're just going to kind of use this for prosperity's sakes. And the reason that we're putting this on the YouTube channel is because I want this documented, and I want to see what it turns out here in 5 years. Like, what does this really look like? So we're going to talk about Rutherford County, Tennessee housing data, December of 2025. And we're going to compare resale homes only versus resale including new construction. Because, you know, when I first looked at this, it didn't make sense. When I included new construction versus, let's just say the whole market, all of new construction, all resale, the numbers looked great. They didn't look bad. But when I pulled new construction out and I started looking at just resale of existing homes that are older than 2024, the numbers were staggering.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I mean, and let's just go down the list real quick. So we're going to talk about new listings. So if this does not include new construction, all right? So new listings that came on the market in 2024 is 426 homes. In 2025.
This is in Rutherford County here in Tennessee.
Rutherford County.
Okay.
This does not include new construction. So everybody understands this does not include new construction. There was 248 homes that came on the market in December of 2025. That's down 42%.
So it was 426 in December of 24, and then last month it was 248.
Or last year, December of 2025. Yeah. So it's down 42%. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
You know, I honestly believe that a lot of houses went really fast in November. And the ones that were left out and came on the market in December, they had to sell. There wasn't as many as those. And I just think last year we kind of called, or not 2025, but 2024, we kind of called it at the end. And people are kind of hearing through the grapevine, and this is what we're talking about. You know, houses aren't selling. I keep hearing that from people who are talking to me. Chris, how's the market? Houses aren't selling. I see they're staying on the market longer. And I'm like, when I look at this number with new construction, I'm like, no, they're actually selling faster.
Yeah.
But when you take new construction out, they're not.
Yeah, so I guess with new construction right here for December 2025, it's 528 homes. So what is that? That's almost 280 extra new construction homes added in December?
Right. So you basically double it.
Yep.
And it shows that your new listings went up 1% for the total year versus 42% being down.
Right, because December 24 was 522 with the new construction.
Right. And let's just go on down the list a little bit. I want to hit sales price because that's a big deal to me. And here's why I think it's a big deal. So if you're looking at existing home sales without new construction, in 2024 it was $522,000. Basically $523,000.
So that's pretty much what it was with new construction added in. So it's 525.
Here's the big deal. December of 2025, average sales price is $459 versus new construction, which is
$491,600.
So we're talking about a $31,000 difference.
Okay.
David, how much does most builders offer in incentives?
Use about 1%, you know, or 3% actually, usually, right?
Well, no, they're offering like $20,000 to buy it down to like 5% right now.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm getting at with this. When I look at new construction and I see $491 and they're offering $25,000 incentives, and they basically say, go with our lender. We're going to give you 5%, and we're going to pay your $25,000 towards your closing.
So they're jacking up the house prices and basically just dangling a really low interest rate, saying, hey, we'll pay for this buy down right here so you can have this cheaper payment.
Exactly.
But they don't realize they're paying a lot more for it.
Right. So what do you think is going to happen with this new construction house if they have to sell this thing in 3 years? And they bought it for $491. And meanwhile, existing homes are selling for $459.
Oh, they're not going to have as much equity then.
They're not going to have any. They're going to be upside down.
Oh my gosh.
They're going to be upside down.
It's kind of like buying a new car, like driving a new car off the lot, right? It's like you pay a lot for it on the front end, and as soon as you drive it off the lot, it immediately decreases in value.
Well, kind of like that, but the problem with this is the builder has built into the price his financing incentive because he's not taking a hit.
Right.
So what's happened is now this guy's got to carry this house for 5, 6, 7 years before he can break even.
Okay, so I guess something else to think about is what issue, like, do we run into any issues with appraisals on new construction? Like, is that a...
We just did.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking in the previous video how we had a VA buyer and she found the perfect house. And we did the appraisal and it came back, what, $40,000?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was $40,000 under.
$40,000 under the list price, and the builder wouldn't budge.
Wait, and you know what it was? It was because he was saying that there was upgrades, that there was landscaping, that there was epoxy floors, you know, things that like don't really make like a huge difference on it.
Like, and he, you know, he used to be a realtor, so he should know better than this. Epoxy floors don't add value; they add appeal. Irrigation doesn't add value; it just add appeal. And adding more landscaping, that looks just like more work to most people, so it doesn't add appeal. So to me, he couldn't prove his point.
Yeah.
And he wasn't willing to budge off of it, and he was going to rent it out.
And to you know, that point too, it didn't make sense to an appraiser because he straight up was like, hey, listen, house isn't worth $450, it's worth $410. And you know, because of that happened, it killed the deal, right? Because we can't lend up to $450.
Nope.
You know, if he's saying, you know, purchase price is $450, I'm not coming down. You know, if the house appraises for $410, that means if you're trying to buy the home, you have to come up with that extra $40,000 out of pocket to be able to buy that home.
That's what he wanted the buyer to do.
Which is ridiculous.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. And we obviously told our buyer to walk away.
Right.
And she couldn't buy it, so she was like, I'm not going to pay this anyway. Why would I pay above?
Right.
So the problem I have with this is I think in 4 to 5 years, or actually 3 years, some of these buyers are going to have to sell, and they're going to come to me and they're going to go, Chris, I need you to put my house on the market. And I'm going to say, you're upside down. And they're like, how is that so, man? Prices have went up. And I'm going to say, yeah, they went up, but you overpaid in 2026 and 2025. And now look what you've done because you bought new construction.
Yeah.
And it's a great deal on the front end. You're getting a lower interest rate. You're not having to worry about any maintenance. That all sounds good. But if you're not going to stay in the house long, this does not make sense to do.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll say kind of to your point you're talking about, right? We're talking about how, you know, the downsides that could happen with new construction. I'm not saying new construction's bad and that people shouldn't buy new construction homes at all.
No.
So I just like definitely want you to like, you know, maybe clarify on that, you know.
Well, and I'm not saying don't buy new construction. I'm just saying the environment that I'm seeing right here, I don't know how this is going to play out, but I don't like how it looks on paper. And maybe it's going to play out okay, and maybe the buyer's going to be okay, but I'm going to have those conversations like, hey, that $25,000 you're getting in incentives from the builder is not a true $25,000. He's putting it on top of the house price, and you're paying that. You're financing that.
Yeah.
You're financing that. And that means that your house is going to have to appreciate, and let's just say 6% a year. So this is $491. So let's just round it to 5, right? 1% would be $5,000. So 3% would be $15,000. So it'll have to increase $15,000 for probably the next 2 to 3 years before you break even. So if they move before year 3, they're in trouble.
Right, and that's also assuming that we continue to see appreciation, right?
At 6%.
Well, because if you're looking at, you know, December 24 to December 25, we went from 525 to 491.
Yep.
So house prices went down.
Right, with new construction.
Yeah.
And if you look at existing homes, the sales price was $550 or $522, and now it's at $459.
So it was kind of across the board that it went down from 2024 to 2025.
So, and let me tell you, so the sales price, the average sales price went down 12%, median, average, and both of those were 12%. So that price doesn't include any seller incentives.
Right. That's a big thing I guess people don't think about is that that's a big thing that people ask for right now is seller concessions.
They're getting it. They're not just asking for it, they're getting it.
Yeah.
And they're getting 3.5%.
Right.
So if we add 3% to this existing home, that's 15%, man.
Wow.
15%.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I'll tell you, it sounds like it's a good deal for buyers though.
Yes. Right now is the time to buy. Prices have went down 3 years in a row.
Yep.
If you're buying an existing home.
Mortgage rates 3-year low right now.
3-year low. New construction is still the deal. If you got to have that interest rate and you're wanting to lock yourself in for 7 or 8 years, new construction is a good deal. I mean, you can get in for a low payment, but that's payment conscious buyers.
Yeah.
You got to think long term. If you're not going to stay in this house for at least 4 or 5 years, this might not be your best option.
Yeah.
You might need to go to existing. However, full disclosure, if you buy these existing homes, you've got more maintenance probably if they haven't updated the AC, the roof, or windows, those 3 major components. If those have been updated, you're sitting gold.
Yep.
You're sitting gold.
That's true. I heard somebody talk about new construction houses, and they said they wanted to get a new construction house because they didn't want toenail clippings in the carpet. I'd never heard that before. I just thought that was such a funny saying. So I was like...
We were talking beforehand about toilets and how some of my buyers have to remove the old toilets and bring in a new one before they do it. So those are things that you just don't expect to hear. And then you're like, okay, I can kind of understand that.
That's funny, man.
All right. So in review, guys, we're not saying one way or the other. We're just giving you facts about numbers here. And when we separated new construction sales from existing sales, we saw a major difference in how the market looks. And sometimes you got to peel the onion back so you can see that. David and I are here always for you. Every circumstance with every buyer is different because of price point, location.
Yep.
All of those things should be, we're talking big picture here. We're not talking the narrow look. This is still a great time to buy. Yeah. And if you haven't sold your house, you're still sitting on a lot of equity if you bought pre-COVID, like pre-20, pre-2019. You're sitting out there. And there's a lot of people that are sitting out there with no mortgages. So those people are gold. So get with David and I. We'll help you buy your next home. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks, David.
Yep. See ya.
All right.
For answers to all your real estate questions, ask Chris at the Phillips Group, Murfreesboro, Tennessee.